Hi guys. Hello. What a day. What a day it was. A little bit mentally draining today was. I'll put in here. Oh boy. It's been like a roller coaster since I've got home. Up and down on that experience. Hello Armand, how are you? Truly been up and down on that experience today. It almost, part of me feels like it was a waste of my day, unfortunately. So tonight I thought three things. I'm going to go ahead and publicly read my victim impact statement. Hello, Deb. How are you? Since I'm not going to be able to read it. Yes, Nan, it was a hard day. So I'm going to get that over quickly, done, publicly read it, and then we'll move on to the Restelli family. And also the sheriff was in court today. Melinda says, have been in the hospital for a week and I love being home. I'm so glad you're home, my dear. I'm so glad you're home. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. And then I'm just going to put it here so I can read it. So, hello, my name is Rochelle Wood. I had hoped that this person in my life would be someone I could rely on, someone I could trust, someone who was genuinely cared about me. Unfortunately, I have come to realize that he is inherently evil. If there was a career in deceit, he would surely be a millionaire. He once boasted about his ability to deceive even the most educated therapists. It is unimaginable to me that I would be attacked in my own home, in my own bed, by someone I once shared my life with. The cruelty I experienced is beyond comprehension. Having my breathing restricted with blue duct tape, my hands tied above my head to the wall, and enduring the overwhelming pressure of his excessive size and weight on me, I was trapped and then subjected to a horrifying act of rape. It was devastating to witness as he laid out a collection of weapons, each carefully placed like tools on a workbench. I knew then that this was premeditated. It was a premeditated act, my punishment for daring to end the cycle of his lies, drug use, infidelity, and manipulation. This was the dark fate I faced for choosing myself, my happiness, my freedom. The fear coursing through my veins paralyzed me, leaving me helpless against his monstrous actions. The minutes that followed felt like an eternity as he violated my body and my trust. I couldn't comprehend how someone I once loved had become such a monster, capable of inflicting such pain and trauma. The tears streamed down my face, but they were met with his sickening satisfaction. At the moment I realized the depth of his depravity, he reveled in his control over me, relishing in the power he held. It sickened me to my core, knowing that he would take pride in what he had done to me. The days that followed were a blur of anguish and confusion. I grappled with the aftermath of his assault, questioning my worth and struggling to find sense of normalcy. Every day felt like a battle against the memories and the pain that continues to haunt me. In a chilling 911 call, this man brazenly declared his intention to harm me, specifically stating that upon his release from jail, his plans to slit my throat. This is not an empty threat. History has shown that he always seeks revenge. It is important to note that this is the same individual who, while raping me, warned me that he is not afraid to unalive and has done so in the past. He said the person was a friend and now root food up north, serving as a reminder of the danger he poses. But today, as I stand here in front of you, I refuse to let his actions define me. I refuse to be silenced by the fear he instilled in me. I am here to speak my truth, to shed light on the dark reality of this sexual predator, and to demand justice for myself and all survivors. Please do not allow him out. Make him serve his whole sentence, as I will be sentenced to this for the rest of my life. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my story. It is through our collective voices that we can bring about change and ensure that no one else suffers at the hands of such predators. Together, we can create a world where survivors are heard, believed, and supported. And that, my friends, is what I'm not allowed to read. And that's watered down. That's their guidelines, where you got to try to twist your words to say what you want to say. And those two women I ran in today just decided that I am not allowed to speak. Thank you guys so much. And I'm sorry that you guys are the ones that have to hear it. Hey, Tattles, my friend. Oh, I went on a individual protest today, and I got shut down everywhere I went. So it's it's sad, but it is what it is. So we are going to look at, I'm going to go into Restelli and see especially the last lady at Ryan Williams' member of parliament office in my riding. She was something else, but the parole board woman, which I didn't even go back and get her name, just when I got home, I needed a little bit of breather from it, but I will tomorrow. I'm going to put her on blast. She deserves to be. Oh no, Ingrid Moore was the one from Ryan Williams' office. What a day, guys. I'm just trying to, you know what, maybe we'll go on Pretty Lies and Alibis 11 days ago did an update on, oh no, that's Corey Richards' hearing. Oh, she did Corey Richards, Matthew Restelli, and Lori Vallow. Maybe we'll review Pretty Lies and Alibis tonight. I'll just share. We'll share Gigi's we'll share Gigi's screen. Hey, Dave, welcome. Dave says, hello, everyone. Can't stay on, but wanted to wish everyone a happy, safe, and holy Thanksgiving. God bless everyone and your families too. Peace. Thank you for that, Dave. It's very kind words. It's so weird that Canada and the U.S. celebrate two different Thanksgivings. Hello, Ange. Welcome. I think I said hello to Claudia. So we're just going to jump in. This is Gigi, Pretty Lies and Alibis, and we will review this. She breaks down 3 different cases, so that's good.
Are the mortgage fraud and the forgeries from 2021. She will be tried separately for those charges. The judge denied the motion to sever the attempted aggravated murder charges, saying that that was part of a common scheme or plan. So this is where I got confused. That's what I put out on the update, was that he denied the motion and it would be one trial. I missed him granting severing those 4 felonies. The prosecution asked the judge a while back to drop the 2 drug distribution charges, and the judge granted that. As far as the future jury, the judge allowed the defense to expand their geographical area for that jury pool to include Summit County and Salt Lake County. Her next hearing is set for December 12th. We are going to start talking about a new case that feels very familiar to me.
Armand says, I watched Guilty Words. Richens read 19 books in 4 months to show the judge how accomplished she is and deserved bail. Oh my God. What is wrong with all these sick people? Like, that is fine, Deb. I will read it. Yep. Thank you. This case here just baffles me. Like, to think that the mother was Googling Donna Adelson and Katie McBanois. That's just baffling.
And it hit me. It is a combination to me of Charles Vallow's murder as well as the Adelsons, mainly because they do mention the Adelsons in this case. But with Charles, very similar situation. Matthew Restelli was lured to his mother-in-law's home in Utah and then ambushed and shot and killed just inside the doorway. Let's jump into it. Now, I don't have a lot of photos of these people, so you're going to see some of the same photos repeated. I did do some more graphics just to mix it up a bit, but right now there's not a lot out there about these people, and the photos are far and few between. But I do have the main players for the most part on the screen, with the exception of the brother. On July 12th, Matthew Restelli was shot and killed shortly after coming from California to American Fork, Utah to visit his estranged wife, Kyron. Kyron's brother, Kevin Ellis, was arrested shortly after the shooting and charged with murder, possession of a controlled substance, which is a Class A misdemeanor, and possession of a dangerous weapon by a restricted person, a third-degree felony. When they executed a search warrant inside the home, they found a bill rolled up that had traces of cocaine, and Kevin tested positive for cocaine after the shooting. He does have a criminal history in California, but it took until October 29th for Kyron and her mother, Tracy Grist, to be arrested. We're going to go over details from both of the probable cause affidavits, but just a little backstory so that the first part of this makes sense. Matthew and his wife, Catherine, were living in California, but she went to Utah to stay with her mother due to problems in the marriage about 3 weeks prior to the shooting. Investigators believe he was lured from California to Utah, thinking the two of them would reconcile, but investigators say it was a setup. Catherine told investigators that her and Matt lived in California and had been having financial problems and that Matt had been verbally abusive. On June 20th, she took their children in a rented car from California to American Fork, Utah, to live with her mother, and Matt stayed in California. On July 11th of this year, Matt made arrangements for Catherine to rent a car to drive back to California. Catherine said due to having an out-of-state driver's license and only a debit card, she was unable to pick up the rental. But Matt told her he would drive from California to Utah to pick up her as well as...
Wait, hold on one sec. Is that true? In the States, if you have an out-of-state driver's license, you can't rent a car from where you are? That doesn't make sense because Canadians can go down and rent cars. Can anybody tell me if that's true or not? Oh, thank you so much, Ange, for that. Thank you so much. Hello, Christine. I think the problem is that she didn't have a credit card. Oh, okay. She only had a credit card. Or debit card. Okay. Okay, that would make sense. But where they said that because of out-of-state license, that doesn't make sense to me.
Their two young children to possibly go back to California. On or about July 12th, 2024 at 10:06 p.m., Matt arrives at Tracy's duplex home in a gated community in American Fork, Utah. A neighbor's security system caught Matt's arrival on video. 1 minute or less later, at 10:07 p.m., a neighbor who lives in a duplex directly connected to Tracy's heard 6 to 8 gunshots coming from Tracy's side of the duplex. The neighbor called 911 at 10:09 p.m., 2 minutes after Matt's arrival. The neighbor told investigators they waited 2 minutes to call after trying to process if they did, in fact, hear gunshots. And after determining they did, they tried to call Tracy, who didn't answer. So at that point, the neighbor calls 911.
Okay, so yep, I see the Adelson dumb connection here, just right there. Why would you not wait till your neighbor wasn't home? So nobody heard it. Oh, yep, I can see the Adelson dumb connection here.
One immediately after being unable to get a hold of anyone next door. Tracy, the mother, called 911 at 10:15 p.m. That is 8 or 9 minutes after the shooting and 6 minutes after the neighbor called 911. Officers arrive on scene at 10:17 p.m. and Kevin, Catherine's brother, answered the door. The interior lights to the house were off except for a cabinet light in the kitchen. A pair of men's sandals were placed neatly just inside the entrance of the residence right before where the carpet starts. The initial responding officer found Matt's body feet from the door, lying face down in the middle of a hallway with no shoes on. He had multiple gunshot wounds. Patrol officers attempted to perform first aid on Matt, but once medical arrived on scene at 10:25, they determined Matt had no pulse and was already deceased. Officers also saw that Matt was gripping a knife in his right hand. The officer asked if anyone else was in the home, and Catherine said she had 2 small children whose ages are 3 and 5 upstairs asleep. She also told officers she had been upstairs waiting for Matt to come talk to her when the shooting happened. Now, as police took her brother Kevin and mother Tracy outside, Tracy yelled to her son, Kevin, "Don't say anything." Tracy told officers that
Deb says, did they read Wendy's book to get get the game plan? From what I know, from what I've watched on it, they actually went back and watched Katie's 2 trial. And then we're listening to Donna's call about going to oh my God, guys. Donna leaving on a jet plane. Oh my goodness, my brain's gone.
that Matt and Catherine were going through a separation, and Matt had come to the house with a knife, so her son Kevin shot him. When Matt was taken into custody to go to the police station for an interview, he had a black handgun holster on his person. A little bit about Kevin's interview with police. He did have an attorney present. He told an investigator that Matt came into the house unannounced, armed with a knife, which took him and his mother by surprise. Kevin said Matt backed him up against a wall. He said he was afraid for his life, so he shot Matt in self-defense. He said he never saw Matt pull out a knife, so he believed Matt came into the house with the knife in his hand. Now, his attorney said Kevin declined to answer any questions about if Matt threatened him or anyone else in the house. Kind of a red flag, don't you think?
Armand, you're telling me apparently the brother lawyer was in the house too? He lawyered up. He had his brother or his lawyer there? So that would either mean the lawyer was there when he was shot or the lawyer lives very close by.
Forensic evidence of the shooting and the planting of the knife on Matt's body.
Hey, crime.
The front door to Tracy's home opens into a small entryway. Immediately forward and to the right is the living room, which leads into the dining area. Immediately forward and to the left is where Matt's body was found. Officers located 8 bullet casings in the living room near the front door. The location of the bullet casings indicate Kevin was in the living room as he shot Matt, who was moving from the front door into the hallway. At autopsy, they found Matt had been shot 8 times, directly in the chest, 1 to the side of his right upper torso, 2 shots in the back, 1 in the back of the hip, and 1 on his right wrist. The knife they found in Matt's right hand was a single-edged blade that had a handle with finger grips. Matt's right arm was fully extended away from his body in a 45-degree angle to his side. His right hand was gripping the knife with the blade facing towards him, not towards any threat. And also, the finger grip was pushing into the palm of his hand, while the spine part of the handle, which is normally held in your palm, was pushing into Matt's fingers. So in other words, the knife wasn't positioned to where he would have been holding those finger grips like a normal person would.
Oh, these people are idiots. And he was left-handed, not right-handed. So they didn't even put the knife properly in the right hand that he would not have held a knife in. Oh, I have to almost say that these people are stupider than the Adelsons. Oh my God. Oh my God.
When investigators attended Matt's autopsy, they found an additional entry and exit wound on his right wrist. Now, this was not discovered on scene because Matt was wearing a long sleeve shirt and the wound would not have been visible by anyone in the house. Also, family of Matt's who were interviewed after the shooting said that Matt is predominantly left-handed.
So if there was an entry and exit, sorry, I'm gonna have to go back. Entry and exit wound on his right wrist. That would tell me that when he was being shot in the head or whatever, he's went up like this. That he's raised and tried to matrix a bullet.
And in other words, Matt was holding the knife in the wrong position with a wound that would have practically prevented him from even gripping the knife. When they put this together, the physical evidence indicated the knife was placed in his hand after the shooting. That knife was a brand called Evatac. It was a folding pocket knife with a 4-inch blade, and the handle was 5 inches long. After researching the knife brand, the detective found the company Evatac sold their brand to another company, and that company was called My Tactical Promos, and the knives were put into tactical mystery boxes that can be purchased from My Tactical Promos when you enroll in a membership. When investigators were searching the mother Tracy's cell phone, detectives saw she had sent an email to support@mytacticalpromos.com on April 10th, 2024. In that email was a request they stop sending tactical mystery boxes and to please stop the monthly membership to a person who lived in California. Detectives searched this time period in Tracy's phone and found metadata and photos which had Tracy in them, showing she had gone to a residence in California from April 2nd through the 14th of this year to help a friend whose husband had passed away. It's also the same address where the My Tactical Promos were sending products to. Investigators found it reasonable that Tracy could have obtained the knife from that residence in California and brought it back to Utah when she went home. A detective also found a video connected to My Tactical Promos, which showed unboxing of a tactical box, and inside was the same exact knife, color and all, as the one found in Matt's hand. So back to the time difference, they believe the time difference in the neighbor calling 911 at 10:09 p.m. and Tracy, the mother, calling at 10:15 p.m. Part of that time was spent staging the knife in Matt's hand. The next section in this affidavit, additional statements made by Tracy and Kyron. The mother, Tracy, told investigators she knew Matt was coming to her home and he would be arriving a little after 10 p.m. She said she was sitting in the kitchen at the counter, and the next thing she knew, Matt was in the kitchen and said hello. She said Matt appeared agitated and began to walk away. He then asked if Kyron, his wife, was upstairs. Tracy said yes, but Kyron would be the one to come downstairs. Next, she said she heard gunshots while she was still sitting at the kitchen counter. She ran.
Hello, Elizabeth, my friend. Shoot, I'm like, it's okay.
And into the hall and saw Matt lying face down. She went upstairs and told Kyron, her daughter, not to come downstairs. And then Tracy said she called police. Kyron said she was upstairs waiting for her husband, Matt, to arrive when she heard a commotion downstairs and then gunshots. She said her mom, Tracy, came upstairs to tell her an incident had occurred, to stay in the room, and that she, meaning the mother, was going to call police. Let's get into some electronic evidence, because we all know these days about 90% of the cases we cover, a lot of the most incriminating things are found on electronic devices, and this case is no different. So as part of the investigation, Kyron, her brother Kevin, and her mother Tracy's cell phone.
You know what, though, guys? If she actually Googled the Adelsons, would she not have known that don't use electronic devices? Oh, these people.
Were seized, as well as an iPad of Kyron's. What are some things they found? They found text messages between Kathy and her sister, whose initials are TF. Text messages between Kyron and her sister, whose initials are TF, revealed that Kyron had placed an Apple AirTag in Matt's truck before she left California in the rental car to drive to Utah. A search warrant of Catherine's iPad, as well as her mother Tracy's cell phone, showed that Catherine, her brother Kevin, and her mom Tracy, as well as two other sisters whose initials are TF and RJ, all had access to view and track that AirTag, and in turn would show his location.
Oh my God.
AirTag was labeled as truck, and beside the name truck was a poop emoji on the Find My app. That is an Apple app. If you have a Mac, you know iPhones, iPads, iMacs, anything Mac can be tracked down to a location if they're registered to that account. They executed a search warrant on Matt's truck days after his murder on July 18th, and they found the AirTag. It was in a storage drawer, which was filled with random debris, including paper, receipts, magazines, snacks, and drinks. Investigators say it would have been difficult to find if you were not looking for it.
Oh, I'm interested in why she put that AirTag there. Hello, sunshine. Welcome.
Moving back in time to other incriminating evidence found from digital sources, and we're going to start before the murder. May 13th, Catherine sent a text message to a friend, and it said, "I'm trying to wait. I just might murder Matt today, though." June 6, 2024. Tracy, the mother, texted her other daughter, whose initials are RJ, "Matt made it so I want to kill him." When Katie asked about whatever I had said about her being in the camper too much, which I never said anything, he straight up lied. "I'm going to kill him." There was no context to that. It was included clearly because Tracy said she wanted to kill him. June 7th. Here's the Adelson connection, and it comes up a couple of times here. Tracy, the mother, on June 7th, searched, "How old were Dan Markel's kids when Dan was killed?"
That's disgusting.
The same day, she searches Katie Magbanawa, second trial, defense charts. June 16th, Catherine began using her phone web search capability to look for rental cars. The same day, Tracy, her mother, deleted search history from 10:18 a.m. through 10:31 a.m. What were some of those searches? Utah gun law registration, Utah shot break-in, Utah gun laws and regulations explained, and how does private sales of firearms work in Utah? To file for divorce if wife is a Utah resident and husband is a California resident. How to establish Utah residency, apply for a child's U.S. passport, renew my passport by mail, and how to get my U.S. passport fast. On the morning of June 20th, 2024.
Was she thinking about going to Vietnam also? Oh, Deb, you're right. Talk about self-snitching. Sunshine just came over from watching All About Find Hannah. So sad. Oh, I'm going to have to look into that. Find Hannah. I'll look into it.
Catherine drove her and Matt's children to Utah without telling Matt. Matt was upset initially, believing that Catherine had left him and taken the kids, but Catherine convinced Matt it was just a breather and she'd be back in a week or two. Investigators say at no time between June 20th and July 12th did Catherine tell Matt she was considering divorce or that her being gone was anything more than a temporary breather. Matt believed Catherine wanted to come home, and she gave him no indication she was hesitant about driving with him back to California the night he was killed. Same day she leaves, June 20th, Catherine received a text from her sister which said, "I will be watching AirTag and let you know as soon as it updates." There was a screenshot of an Apple map with a blue dot and a location of Awaga, California, which is near Matt and Catherine's residence. The next day, June 21st, Catherine gets another
Okay, so if the sister sent the text message to her saying, I'll be watching the air tag, can't she be found as part of this whole scheme? Why would these people be doing this? I don't get it.
Another text from her sister with another screenshot of a blue dot on an Apple map showing the location as Temecula, California, which is also near Matt and Catherine's residence. Catherine responded to her sister, "Yeah, I was just looking at on mom's phone. It may need another ping." To investigators, this text indicated the device was being monitored. We have some more searches by Tracy. June 22nd, 2024. What if mom takes kids for overstate line visit and dad didn't agree? Another search. What are the legal implications of taking your kids on vacation without the other parent's permission? If my child's father and I do not have a custody agreement in place, can he take my child and not return them back? The last search that day, what to do? Parental kidnapping and no custody order.
Oh my
June
God.
24th, Catherine changed her chats with her brother Kevin on Snapchat to be deleted after 24 hours. June 26th, Kevin, the brother, texted Catherine, "The tag is still active. If I have to rush back, I can make it happen." He then sent Catherine a screenshot.
Armand Fent says the police chief in this case was on STS. It was funny to watch him look at the chat and smile given he knows more than anyone else. I noticed that. It was like 13 days ago or something like that he was on there. I was going to watch that tonight.
Of Matthew's AirTag location. June 27th, Tracy conducted a web search for American Fork Cemetery and Alpine Cemetery.
What?
June 30th, Tracy searches Adelson Donna movies and TV shows. She also searches new Dateline episode, January 19th, Donna Adelson arrested at the airport. She also searches Ashley Judd's Family Feud, Winona tracking her car. We done got Donna Adelson popping up in a whole new case. Lord help us, y'all.
Yeah, Lord
July
help us.
7th, Tracy deleted her chat history with her son, Kevin. July 9th, Catherine texted her sister that she had had a date the night before. July 11th, Tracy searches, when was Donna Adelson arrested? The same day, July 11th, 2024, Catherine made a phone call to a divorce lawyer. The same day, a friend of Catherine's texted her asking what happened with the lawyer. Catherine responded, "It doesn't look good." The friend asked, "Can you talk?" Catherine responded, "I'm still processing that. It sucks. I just have to establish residency. He expects me to be driving home tomorrow. He reserved a car." The friend responds, "Do you think he will drive there if you don't come home?" Catherine responded, "The lawyer said I'm in a tough spot." The same day, another friend texts Catherine asking how her attorney meeting went. Catherine responded, "Honestly, I'm effed." The friend responds, "How so?" Catherine said, "Just dumb California law. I just feel hopeless." The friend asked, "So you have to stay in California? What are you going to do?" Catherine responds, "I don't know. I'm still trying to process it all." The friend says, "So you can't leave state?" Matt probably knows and made it, so you're screwed. Now, American Fork Police Lieutenant Stuart Four told media, under California law, from what we understand, if Matthew wanted the children back in California, they would need to be returned, and Catherine did not want that to happen. We're still on July 11th. Catherine texts her mother, Tracy, "Matt doesn't want to drive out. He's depositing money for me to rent a car." Tracy responds, "Nope. We will just say you sprained your ankle and just keep putting him off. It's fine." Catherine says, "Yep. If you deposit money, then I can use it to pay for a lawyer." Tracy says, "Yes, sir. It would be $550 for the rental, $550 for the deposit, plus $300 for gas. Catherine says, I'll tell him.
Oh
Tracy
my
says,
God.
plus, you're going to sprain your ankle soon. Catherine says, yeah, he wants me to leave tomorrow. I have to make, and she puts arrangements in quotes for the car today. Tracy responds, can't drive with that ankle. Later in that conversation, Tracy says, I know, we can wrap it and make it look swollen under the wrap. The next day, the day of the shooting, July 12th, 2024, Catherine texts some friends on the platform Discord and says, I have big girl things to do today. Wish me luck. When her friends asked what she meant, Catherine would not elaborate. 12:49
I have big girl things to do today. Oh my God. So big girl things means unaliving your husband? Oh, this is gross.
p.m., July 12th, Catherine's two sisters text each other. The sister whose initials are RJ texted the other sister whose initials are TF. RJ says Kate talked him into coming out. On the phone with Kate now. TF responds, talked him into, and RJ says, apparently. 2:13 p.m., Tracy searches for a meme titled,
Okay, so only right now it's the mother, Catherine, and her brother that are in jail. There's two other sisters that sound to me like they're involved or they had some knowledge of what was going on. Am I reading too much into that, guys?
It's happening. Catherine's iPad had a recording that went on for several hours, which investigators believe it was recording accidentally because only background noise is heard. But near the end of the recording, there is a knock at the door, and Catherine is heard saying, I need you to watch my kids because I have to go to the car rental place to make my story sound plausible. A voice identified as Kevin, her brother, the shooter, is heard saying, okay. They got that in common with Donna too, because she had some accidental hot mic stuff that sunk her ship. Tracy texts Catherine, it might help your story if you say you were there and they say no, meaning no, you can't rent the car. Also, you might call them and it's better for them to say, yeah, you were here and we couldn't rent the car. Catherine texts her mom that Matt's going to drive out. Tracy responds, I'll call you. Investigators found a 5-minute call from Tracy to Catherine. Later in the day, Tracy texts Catherine, I'm meeting Kevin for sushi. Also, on the day of the shooting, investigators found recorded calls on Catherine's iPad between herself and Matthew. On one of the calls, they speak about him driving to Utah to pick her and the kids up, and she agrees to this plan. In the other calls, it's clear that Matt is driving due to the background noise. Matt talks about the route he's taking from California to Utah
this poor
and gives
guy had no
Catherine an
idea.
ETA. In one recording, he tells Catherine he wants to leave his truck running since he'll only be there for about 15 minutes as they load stuff up. Catherine appears to be taken aback by this. She stops talking and then speaks as if she's confused about him not turning off the truck when he gets to her mother's home. Investigators say she returns to a normal speaking voice and said, it's fine, but asks, are you going to come inside? Matt doesn't respond to the question, so she asks again, are you going to come inside and help me load up? Matt responds yes, and Catherine says okay. The front door is always unlocked, okay? In another recording, Matt.
You're right, Armand. He walked into an assassination. Like that. He thought he was going to pick up his wife and kids. Oh my God. Wow. Leah says, hi, Rochelle. You're amazing today. I believe what you're doing well will make a difference and help others. Thank you so much, friend.
Ask Catherine if he can leave the truck running when he gets to her mother's house because he's worried the truck won't start if he turns it off. Catherine said it's okay to leave the truck running, but immediately asks, "You're going to come in though, right?" Another recording, Catherine told Matt if he was too tired, her mom Tracy said he could stay there and that she would keep her distance and she would probably be asleep. Catherine told Matt she wanted him to be comfortable. She also assures Matt several times that it wouldn't take long for them to load up and leave. They both say they love each other. Catherine then texted her mom. She told Matt these things, and Tracy responds, "Very good."
Oh my.
A little after
God.
8 p.m. on the evening of the shooting, Matt tells Catherine to put cardboard down in front of her mom's house so that he would not leak oil onto the street. Catherine sent a photo showing cardboard on the street directly in front of her mother's house. And after his murder, his truck was found and the cardboard was underneath. But not long after he asked her to do that, Catherine asks Matt again if he's coming inside. He confirmed he was going to come in to help her load up the truck. Investigators note in the recordings at no time did Catherine tell Matt not to come pick her up in Utah. They both say, "I love you," and Matt told her he was excited to see her again. Catherine told Matt she was too.
Whoa, but
Matt
she went on a
sounded
date.
happy, and there was no.
But she went on a date with somebody in Utah. Oh, this is
Nothing indicating he was mad at her or was forcing her to come with him. Investigators say Catherine even helped him plan his route, telling him the best roads to travel. They also note Catherine texted him the day of the shooting, the address to her mother's place, the code to get in the gate, and also a photo of the residence. There was no evidence found in the house that Catherine had been packing anything to load into the truck. July 12th at 10:01.
Claudia, they didn't do anything with the body. They called, well, the neighbors called 911 and he was there. Hello, Michael. How are you? Sounds like a player. Sounds like another Wendy Adelson. Holy. These people are actually, if it's even possible, to me, being more cold-hearted than the Adelsons. They at least tried to keep their hands clean. These people, it was a family affair, and they were not keeping their hands clean. Armand, you're right. So cold-blooded. It's unreal. Like, how shocking is that these people make the Adelsons look less cold-blooded? Oh, this is disgusting.
1 p.m., just minutes before the shooting, Catherine's sister sent a text to Kevin, the shooter, which read, "Orem, this is in Utah. Keep an eye on Find My." It's reasonable to believe the sister was telling the shooter Matthew's location based on AirTag and to check his phone for an updated location. Orem and where Catherine was located is not far at all, very short distance. After the shooting, July 13th, according to a friend, Catherine called and told her that Matt was dead, and Catherine said he was pepper-balled 8 times by her brother. The friend expressed condolences, and Catherine said to her, "It's okay, I'm happy." The same day, Catherine was on a social media group call with friends where she informed them of Matt's death and then proceeded to show them the area of the residence where Matt had died, including the bloodstains on the carpet. The friend spoke with Catherine again on July 13th on FaceTime. And during that call, the friend said Catherine said she was getting ready to go on a date. During the call, she told the friend she wanted to show her something. And
oh my God. Sunshine, why they do it? It looks like it's another woman that wanted to be out of a marriage instead of just getting a divorce. Oh my Lord. They make Charlie look like Tenderheart Care Bear, right? Like, that's bad. She was showing her friend where he died? And they weren't, it wasn't a pepper spray pellets. I would assume, Claudia, it's those kind of type guns that the police have, like the pepper balled guns. But it wasn't. He was shot. Yep, more Care Bears.
And then showed the friend the bloodstains where Matt's body was found and asked her friend to take a screenshot of it.
Are you kidding
The
me?
friend said she also spoke to Catherine's mom, Tracy, on this phone call. Catherine told her mom that the friend was interested in true crime, to which Tracy told the friend, well, if I'd have known, I would have taken a picture of the body.
Oh my God.
The friend told investigators that Catherine would often complain about Matt and how horrible he was, but she also told the friend Matt was never physically abusive to her. She bragged to this friend that she had cheated on Matt both online and in person. Investigators later confirmed this and spoke to the individual she went on the date with, and Catherine's iPad confirmed she did have several FaceTimes with this friend on this day. When investigators compared text messages from Catherine's phone and the FaceTime call logs, they determined the friend was a reliable witness. On July 14th, there's a phone call between Catherine, Tracy, and Matt's mother. Catherine told Matt's mom that Matt had come to Utah to have a conversation because it needed to be face-to-face. Catherine said Matt was upset that he was having to come to Utah. She said she did not know where the knife was on Matt, and also it was very traumatic to walk past his body, and she didn't want to look. Tracy said she bought the gun during the COVID pandemic, and Kevin used that same gun to kill Matt. She said the gun was locked in a safe high up in the garage, and she had no idea where Kevin was when Matt was shot because she was in the kitchen. Prior to this conversation,
So, the gun was bought during the COVID pandemic. It was locked in a box above a cabinet, and she didn't know where her son was at the time. So she literally just threw her son under the bus, saying he went into her lockbox, took out her gun, and shot. You can't make this shit up. Like, the mom literally throws the son under the bus.
Tracy texted Catherine and told her not to tell Matt's mom anything that happened and to say it's all a blur. July 16th, Catherine was on the phone with a friend while getting ready for a date. She told the friend she never had any intention of going back to California or getting back together with Matt. She told the friend Matt came into the home the night of the shooting with a knife and that Kevin had gone into the garage, grabbed the gun, and shot him 8 times in front of the stairs. The friend asked what kind of knife it was, and Catherine said it was a tactical knife. Investigators noted if Matthew barged into the residence holding a knife while the shooter ran to the garage to collect a firearm from the safe, then Matthew would have been able to get further into the residence rather than where he was found deceased. Now, when Catherine and Tracy were arrested, they were charged with conspiracy to commit murder, obstruction of justice, and 2 counts of domestic violence in the presence of a child since Matt and Catherine's children were upstairs.
What?
So that was...
With all that evidence, they're not charged with murder? Just conspiracy to commit? So, there's where they're smarter than the Adelsons. They didn't do it in Florida. Obviously, in Utah, they can't be charged with murder. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you, Gigi. I will link you in the descriptions. Come on, guys. They can't be charged with murder? It's clear as day they were the ones that planned how to lure him there. Come on, Utah. Are you? They're kidding me. Do they have their police? I wonder if they have their arrest. Let's hear this one.
The most shocking murder case in American Fork anyone can recall. That's what a veteran officer is saying about some new developments in the case that now has the victim's wife and mother-in-law behind bars. New specialist Dan Markel is covering this story for us. He joins us now live. All right, Dan, how are the wife and mother-in-law allegedly involved?
According to police, the two helped lure 42-year-old Matthew Restelli here to this gated community where he was shot and killed. Now, they say this was a planned killing. They purposely brought him here in order to be able to do that, and they say he was just an innocent father thinking he was coming to pick up his family. Now, the murder of Restelli happened here inside this American Fork home. Police say it was just after 10 o'clock, the night of July 12th, when Restelli walked through the front door and was shot 8 times, allegedly by his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law claimed self-defense, but according to police, evidence at the crime scene showed otherwise. Police say they then started to gather cell phone records and other information, including an air tag that was placed in Restelli's truck in order to track him from California to Utah. The brother-in-law, 33-year-old Kevin Ellis, was arrested back in July. Well, last night, Restelli's wife, 36-year-old Catherine Restelli, and his mother-in-law, 59-year-old Tracy Grist, were arrested.
Things have started not adding up, and the more our investigators looked into it, the more we were able to show and come up with enough probable cause that Catherine and Tracy had conspired to lure Matthew here to Utah in order to kill him.
Investigators say Restelli's wife and his wife and 2 children live in California, and the two are having marital problems. So
Haymaker is the name of the retreat. I'm gonna see if I can find what this house looks like. It was 114. Does anybody remember the name? American Fork. Utah. I'm going to see if I can find images of this. I wonder if they rented or owned it.
His wife came to Utah to stay with her mom. They say he thought he was coming to pick up his family to return home. Police say the 2 children were inside the home at the time of the killing. According to police, the motive here behind this was that the wife wanted a divorce and it was going to take too long. So this is what happened. They say police, that's what police are saying. Both of them are now behind bars at the Utah County Jail. Ashley, back to you.
All right, Dan, thank you.
A Florida sheriff's deputy, a mother of 2, is found.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The most shocking.
There's no body cam footage of these people yet. Wow. And then the one case that I've really been interested in following is oops. Helps again. No. Sheriff. How horrific these kids were at home. I know, Sunshine. That's the thing. There was something about there is an interrogation video. Because I remember seeing oh no, that was, I'm getting my cases mixed. Yeah, he was in court today.
Now let's turn to Kentucky for the array.
We'll listen to. Why I keep saying Georgia? He's from Kentucky. I don't know why I keep saying Georgia. And this is Sheriff Stein. He was in court today.
Arraignment hearing in the sheriff shoots judge murder case for Sean Steins.
There's a case that shocked not just Kentucky, but people around the country. Former sheriff goes in and kills his buddy, who is a judge, in his chambers. This was just a few months ago. This is the first time Steins will be back at that same courthouse. He made his initial appearance at a different courthouse, but he's back in the courthouse where this murder took place.
Surveillance video of the shooting was played during his court appearance in October. It does show Steins talking with Judge Kevin Mullins in his office, and then you can see that the shooting begins. A grand jury has formally indicted Steins on the charge of murder of a public official, but the indictment does not shed any new light on a possible motive for the shooting.
Let's go into the courtroom now in Kentucky, where Sean Steins is there to be arraigned.
Steins is present with counsel.
Yes, Your Honor.
And counsel, that is Jeremy Bartley and Terry Bartley, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor, and also the Honorable Gena as well, Your Honor.
How are you?
All right, how are you?
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Commonwealth is represented this morning by Mr. Montgomery,
Jackie Steele, Your Honor.
Jackie Steele.
Somebody get that judge a mic.
Counsel in this case
Is Ms. Ramsey
is
Down?
assigned to the Attorney General's office.
That's correct.
And that's Ramsey Down, and she is in trial elsewhere.
She is on the Green County, Your Honor.
Correct.
Yes.
All right, we're here this morning for arraignment purposes. All right, counsel, have you had the opportunity to review the indictment?
We have, Your Honor. We've taken a look at the indictment. We got an electronic copy of it on Friday.
That lawyer has no intentions of being in court very long. She's still got her outside jacket on. That is hilarious. We're not going to be here long. It's going to take more time to take my jacket off and put my jacket on.
Do you desire to waive any of it?
We'll waive a formal reading and enter a not guilty plea at this time, Judge.
Are you satisfied that Mr. Steins is aware of his rights?
Yes,
And
Your
the
Honor.
nature and substance of his murder charge?
Absolutely, Your Honor. Yes. Judge, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt the court. We filed a notice to preserve all evidence, and I have no doubt that Mr. Steele will do that. We filed that down in district court. I just want to renew that. I will file a written notice as well, Your Honor. And I would just ask the court to go ahead and enter a discovery order.
No objection to the preservation, Your Honor.
All right.
Sunshine, no, I haven't heard of that, but I just wrote it down, so I'm going to check in on that one.
And in terms of the discovery order, I understand that it is your intention to deliver discovery to defense counsel within 7 to 10 days.
That is correct, Your Honor. Ms. Dowell actually has that. We didn't know when the arraignment was going to be, and didn't have an opportunity for me to get it from her.
Fantastic. That works for us, Judge.
All right. No entry of plea of not guilty. You will note, counsel, my original intention in this case was to review bond for purposes of issuing the warrant for arrest.
Yes, Your Honor.
And in this case, I went ahead and set a no bond.
Yes, sir.
Consistent with the district court's finding. After significant consideration, given the implications of Marcy's law, community safety concerns, security concerns, the fact that the defendant is in fact charged with a capital offense, together with provisions of Rule 402, paragraph 1, the defendant shall not be admitted to bond at this time.
Yes, Your Honor.
That will be a matter for object in this case. Anything else that would be in nature?
Oh,
So here's the thing. You know how they say in law enforcement, if they get arrested and end up in jail, they become like targets? How does that work with Sheriff Stein here? Because he took out a judge that sentenced these people. So is that very confusing to the other inmates? Like, are we supposed to hate him or are we supposed to like him? Claudius, hasn't yet said nothing of why he did it. I don't suspect we will hear anything until probably, I'm not even thinking we're going to hear anything in opening statements. I think we're going to hear about it when the state rests their case. I think these lawyers are going to be a lot smarter than Rashbaum. Instead of giving the full cookie jar away in the beginning, I think that's what's going to happen. It has something to do with his daughter. We know that. Something to do with his daughter's phone. And I can't imagine they were friends. That's what they said. Only something that is bad has happened to your child would set you off like this. I think he'll have to, Sunshine. I think he'll have to take the stand because he's got to be able to explain why he did it. I think a lot of these criminals are putting themselves in positions where they have to testify because it's the only way to explain what happened there. It's going to be an interesting case. And I'm thinking it's going to be a case that splits a town in half. Some people are going to go one way and other people are going to go another way. Now, if this judge was doing anything to his daughter, way to go, Sheriff Stein. And he realized that justice wouldn't be served, way to go. But if that's not the case, then what the hell's wrong with this man?
Absolutely, Judge, and I believe that my understanding was that the court simply doesn't want to take up bond at this time, but we can still file an adversarial bond.
You have every right to file for an adversarial bond hearing. We can after that thing be more confer with the trial judge in the case. Anything else at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Go to the court.
I will ask that everyone be seated and remain seated until the defendant is escorted out of the court.
May we be excused with
It's my understanding this goes directly to the facility, so they usually know that
Yes, you are.
Listen to the queen.
All right, there it is. Arraignment, as always, quick. Entered a plea of not guilty and then escorted out of the courtroom where back in the day he was running security in that courthouse. And oh my God, this case is just, there's so much intrigue with it. You have these two guys that were buddies, a sheriff and a judge. They go to lunch. Then sheriff wants to talk to judge in his chambers, and there's this weird interaction with the sheriff's possible daughter on the cell phone.
Right.
Oof.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? We'll find out eventually.
I mean, it's just so interesting because he goes to talk with the judge and nobody even thinks anything of it. He's just going to go back to his chambers and converse with him like they did all the time. So no one suspects anything.
And then you see that surveillance video, and it is
That's
just
a heavy security
boom,
for
gets
him.
out the gun and just shoots him dead and chases him down underneath the desk. Matthew Mangino's with us. We don't know a lot yet. We know enough to make us want to know more, and it's very interesting. At trial, this whole thing's going to come out, though, right? The motive here. And that's really I would think, the only defense, because that video is the video he basically executed his buddy.
Right. I mean, this is a strange situation. There's no reason why this should happen, except something triggered Sean Steins to shoot his friend who he went to lunch with earlier in the day. So obviously, because of that, there's so much interest in this case. What would motivate, what triggered, what set off the sheriff that he would walk into the judge's office, his friend, and as you said, summarily execute him. When they were out to lunch together earlier in the day. It's really something that's captured the attention of the entire country.
And Ted, you were mentioning the daughter. Why don't we go ahead and play? This is from one of his initial court appearances, and this is the detective kind of talking about the daughter. Let's play that, and then Matthew on the other side will talk about it.
I was told that Sheriff Steins had tried to call his daughter, and he had tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone also.
So, have you obtained the phone records from Judge Mullins' phone?
I don't have those in my possession yet, no.
Okay. Have you issued a search warrant for them?
Yes.
Okay. And have officers confirmed that the sheriff's daughter's phone number was on Judge Mullins' phone?
Yes. I believe so, yes.
So that number had been called from Judge Mullins' phone.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So you hear him talking about the daughter. Defense counsel has argued that Steins was in the midst of an extreme emotional disturbance. They really are saying a more appropriate charge would be manslaughter. Matthew, what do you think?
Well, that it could evolve into that. Again, based on what we learned from the circumstances on that day, the telephone, the contact with the daughter. We know that manslaughter is typically a charge when you do something in the heat of passion, that you act out in some way because of what you.
So we do know, one sec, sorry guys, I was having a cigarette. We do know that there was some nefarious stuff going on in the judge's chamber. We do know that. So what if Sheriff Stein here went to lunch with a bunch of buddies, law-abiding buddies, and law enforcement buddies, and they were sitting around a table in a restaurant, and they all started talking about their conquests, their things that they've done, and it just kept heating him up, and he just snapped. Could be a possibility. There's something serious with the daughter. We know that.
You've learned because of what you're confronted with, that gets you to the point where you take lethal force to deal with it. So it's going to be interesting to see what we learn, about the daughter, about the phone calls, about the reasons behind it, about the reasons that his daughter's number is in the judge's phone. So these are all issues that are going to be explored and ultimately are going to give us some finality to why this tragic incident happened.
And from a defense perspective, as long as they have those lesser includeds as an option, that they can go ahead.
Yeah, and he said that to the people when he came out of the judge's chamber and put his hands up and said, just be kind to me, or just be nice, something like that. He said that he was afraid his family was going to be kidnapped.
And basically argue to a jury that this should be manslaughter if they're not successful at pretrial, to argue with the prosecution and judge to drop the charge, or drop them lower. It's a jury's going to have the final say here, correct, Matthew? Regardless of what the state says in terms of charging.
Well, right. It would appear that ultimately this case is going to be either. Obviously, there could be a plea, but this case is going to end up in front of a jury to make that decision about what offense is appropriate in this case, and the defense will be able to present evidence to substantiate that this is more like.
Oh, and what if this is just going down a rabbit hole? That's what we do here. What if people that sit on that jury find out that one of their family members or have a suspicion that one of their family members, something bad happened to them in that chambers? What if somebody like that is sitting on the bench or sitting in the jury box? Sunshine says, oh, was the judge going to run away with his wife? I don't know. I honestly, guys, this is a crazy case because there's everybody's doing what I'm doing right now. What if this? What if that? This whole case doesn't make sense.
An issue of manslaughter, than it is of first degree murder. But that's going to have to be substantiated by evidence that's going to be presented to a jury. Obviously, if that evidence is compelling, the prosecution, the state may come back and try to work this matter out in terms of a plea, and maybe they don't want all the dirty laundry to be aired in public, and this is a way of resolving the case short of a trial.
And still no trial date. Boy, oh boy. An interesting day is what it's been. Menendez brothers had a hearing today. Stein had a hearing today. We did a mini protest today, which got us nowhere. Yeah, what a day. Just gonna go back here. I'm gonna throw my friend True North Transparency on. And they're gonna, I guess, they're gonna be coming to my area to do an audit on the police force and stuff that here. But I'm gonna throw him on. And go over that, and then I really like your guys' opinions on people that do auditing of police and public buildings and things like that, because today I had that. So why is it buffering? Well, maybe he's not.
Everybody.
Oh gosh, so whoever is that on that line is loud. Okay, here we go.
Here. Thank you all very much for being here. It's wonderful to have you all here. and I got arrested today. My first time in 2 years.
Oh my God.
Found some idiot dumb enough to arrest me. And it was very sad.
This was today.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think
Then Donnie Mullis, did you tear out the tag from your mattress? Yeah. Worse. No, actually, it wasn't quite as bad as that. I only filmed on public property. Danielle. Or Danny. Sorry, Danny. The Chad is in here. No shit. Really? Sorry, guys. I'm just catching up on everything. Nasty Nathaniel. I love you.
I gotta put a banner.
Yes, Nasty Nathaniel, you have to head back up to the Canadian border. We can like shake hands across the border. I think that's all they'll allow us to do.
It's not gonna hide his. It's not gonna hide his chat.
Yeah, I got arrested today, filming on public property at Toronto Hydro. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Surf asked, "Are we going to see your arrest today?" Well, crap from these guys. I don't really want to go inside all that much. I want to get the phone from these guys, and we're going to go check the property out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hey, Kingpin, Jim Bolton, NH Mountain Girl. Free audiobooks, Girth.
Okay, maybe we won't.
Okay, here is something
I'm
to
glad
sync
to
up
see you.
the cameras.
It's not much of a. It's not a video. It's a live, so I won't do that. Well, guys, it has been a stressful day. It has been a day of ups and downs and emotional day for me. But I did want to come on here, and I truly want to thank everybody that was with me today. You have no idea how much that meant to me. Even though I was standing there alone, I didn't feel like I was alone. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much. It meant the world to me to have you guys there and to watch that nasty, nasty woman at Ryan Williams' office. So that being said, I know it was a short live tonight, but this girl needs a little bit of downtime, a little bit of decompressing, and yeah, just some time to realize that one voice is just one tiny ripple. I've got to get more voices on this to help out. I'll find a way. I'll find a way. Like I said today, it's never going to change for me. It's not going to get any better for me. But if I can make it better for one other person, I'm going to do it, and I'll keep doing it. So, oh, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much, Deb, for staying with me today. Sunshine, I will say a prayer, let peace will come over you, your heart and your mind. Thank you so much. The hardest part of today, and I will say this, the very hardest part was in my hometown. Because every one of those cars that were going by, at any point, somebody could have recognized me that might not know my story. And I was fearful of that. I was really fearful of that. So that tells me I've got some work to do. Because I obviously am still feel ashamed of what happened. And that's not my shame to carry. So that highlighted that for me, that I need to do some work on that. I should still feel like I can hold my head high, even in my hometown, even if people do know what happened. So I guess that's another positive of today, is letting go of that shame because it's not mine to bear. So that being said, everyone, sorry it's such a short live, but I do need to do some self-care tonight. And I thank you all very much. We're not getting as many people in our chat as usual, and I truly don't understand why. I guess maybe it's not the Adelsons, but we'll get that figured out. So good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves. Give someone a smile. Tell someone. Say something nice to someone, and let's make this world a little bit better of a place. Oh, Deb, I have shared my story on here many of times, because I wanted people to know this was a safe place. Yes, Claudia, time for rest. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, every single one of you that was there with me today. I appreciate you. You have no idea. You were my strength, and that's more than anybody could ever ask for. And I'm very grateful. So, thank you again. Have a good night, everyone.